Okay then, so for the first step in this 2-hook clipped down rig, you're going to need to measure off approximately 3 foot, 2.5 to 3 foot of your rig body. So I'm going to use the 60 pound, but anywhere between sort of like 40 to 70 pound really will do. So you got your 3 foot. Okay guys, so the first thing you want to do is tie on the swivel to one end using a half blood knot. So pull the line through, wrap round 4 times, then go back through the loop at the bottom, then pull tight. Just wet the line. You can use your mouth to wet the line, but I like to use just a little bit of fairy liquid with water just to stop any line burn, and then pull that knot nice and tight. I'll try and use a lead weight for that. Just hook the other end over, a little tag and a lead weight, so I've got something to grip on, and then pull that nice and tight. Then you should be left with a nice neat knot like that, all coiled up nicely together with a tag end like that. And what you want to do is just trim that tag end, leaving just a couple of mil at the end of that, just in case of any slippage in the knot. I mean, that shouldn't slip, but just in case. So the next step is to slide on a rig crimp, then a bead. So I'm using 5mm beads here, but you can use any size really, it doesn't really matter. Anything you got. Then you want your smaller swivel, your Snood swivel. So these are about 50 pound breaking strain, which is plenty for this rig. Then another bead. Then a second crimp. Then you should have a crimp, bead, swivel, bead and a crimp. Now you just want to repeat that, but instead of the swivel on the next one down, you want to put your Cascade Swivel. So a crimp, bead, your Cascade Swivel has a little clip, and you want that pointing downwards, so put it through the slightly bent eye at the top. Then another bead, to be your final bead, this one. And then one more crimp. And to finish the rig body off, you want your Gemini clip, rig clip, or any sort of weight clip at the bottom. Anything that's got a point where you can clip your bottom hook down on. So again, the same knot, half blood knot. So pull the line through, 4 wraps round, through the loop you've made, straighten that up a bit, your line. Okay, you can use saliva like I said, but I'm just going to use this. Find something to pull the knot tight on and just hitch that down nice and tight so it's all coiled up nicely, and then you can trim your tag end again. Make sure you leave just a couple of mil, just like that, and that's just fine. So that's the rig body complete, apart from crimping down the crimps, but we'll do that when we've got the snoods and the hooks in place. Okay, so the next step is to tie on the snoods. So what you want to do is you want to find, you pull the top set of crimp, bead, swivel, bead and crimp, the first ones we put on. You want to tie one end of your snood line to that swivel, again using the grinner knot. Just tie that one off. So 4 wraps around the line through the loop you've created at the bottom. And then wet that. Well, this snood line is really good, you don't need to wet it, it doesn't burn up, so, and then snip that off. What you need to do now is again pull the top set of the first components we put on, so the crimp, bead, swivel, bead and crimp. Then you want to run the snood line down the length of the rig round about halfway, so just to about the halfway point of the rig body, and snip that one off. And onto that we can tie one of your hooks, so these size 2/0s. Again, half blood knot. It's the simplest knot you can get really, and then pull that nice and tight and trim up your tag end. Then again pull the bottom set of components, again the swivel, bead, cascade, crimp, bead, cascade, swivel, bead and crimp, again halfway roughly up the line. Tie off your snood on one end onto the cascade swivel. Same knot. Trim tag end. So that goes roughly halfway up the line. Doesn't have to be exact because we haven't crimped down to the yet. We'll do that at the end, and then everything should measure up. So just roughly halfway. You do that just by taking it down to the roughly where that hook of the first snood ends, roughly where the cascade swivel is. So hold that there, measure down to the bottom of the rig to where your Gemini leg clip is, and you can just cut it off roughly in line with that. And then you just got to tie off one more hook. Okay, for the final step, I always find it easier to clip on a lead weight onto the clip at the bottom. And then what we're going to do, you need some sort of rig crimps or pliers just to squeeze the crimps in place. So if you hook put it on the right clip. So if you put your hook onto the Gemini link clip or rig clip at the bottom and run it between your fingers up the line, and you should see, holding the last crimp, so it's nice and straight, not too tight, you don't want it like overly tight, you want it just so it's just sitting comfortably over the clip, and you can hold that there, and that's where you want to crimp your first crimp into position. So just crimp that down, and that won't move anymore, and you can just double check it, and you can see that bottom one is perfectly done. There's no bend in the rig body when it's clipped up. That's nicely crimped down. Now because it's already in position, we can just crimp the second crimp into place, second up from the bottom of the rig. Just crimp that down so that can't move, that's all in position now. Now for the top snood, you just need to again clip the bottom one up into position, let that hang down, and go straight up to the top snood, which isn't in position yet. Clip that one over the Cascade Swivel, which is like that, and then run your fingers up, and then you just want to crimp that in position as well. Again, not overly tight, just tight enough so it just grips in place on the Cascade Swivel, and then you can crimp that one off as well. And then you can just finally crimp the top one, and then from the top it's clipped up, and then all the way up to the bottom being clipped down as well. And that one now is complete. So a nice short streamline rig, clipped down on impact with the water. The bottom one will release, and then the top one releases off of that. That's a 2-hook clip down rig, distance rig, as pretty much as cheap as I could make it. You can, on the hook lengths, you can place another bead or two, or a glow bead, which I think it just goes over the hook, the little silicone beads. I think Sea Glow do them, just to bling it up a little bit for a little bit of added attraction, but you don't have to do that. That will catch, you know, if you get some decent smelly lugworm or something on that hook, that will catch fish. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Hope somebody found that useful. Please leave a like and please subscribe if you did. Thanks a lot, guys, and see you on the next one.